Around some Black Film TV. Hey, Jabari, how's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. We've gotten through one season already. When it first started out, everybody was like, "Really? Why are we doing this?"
Same.
We all saw the naysayers out there, but you proved everybody wrong. The show proved everybody wrong. What do you learn? Knowing that the show was greenlit for 2 seasons, so that gave time for the writers to flesh out your character, see where it goes. How have you grown from this?
Man, like I think all my whole life I've been proving people wrong. And so I'm used to like the odds being stacked against me. And I'm used to people being like, nah, you can't do that. Or I'm not excited about that. And so like the fact that people have it's been received with so much joy has brought joy to me, and it's made me want to go even harder for season 2. Like now that I know that our fans are so loyal, I could post something on Instagram. I'll be like, hey, I'm doing something really dope. I could be like, I'm about to go meet Obama, and they're like, we're season 2. and so I'm super excited for fans to go get season 2. We put so much love into it, and it means a lot. It means a lot that they love it, and the writers really got some time to cultivate these characters even more and dig deeper into the layers of who they are. So I'm excited.
Where are we with Will? Obviously, you can't say a lot because we wanted to go on episode by episode, but where are we, Will? He always seems to be conflicted and always at odds with somebody.
He's always at odds with somebody. He's always juggling 2 things at once. And he's always fighting back. You know what I mean? Like he's pressing against the norms. And so when in season 2, we find Will living outside of the gates of Bel Air in South LA with Jazz and discovering who he is and finding his freedom and being his own man over there. And I think that's where we find Will.
Do we get to see you play more ball on screen? Has your ball skills improved?
Come on, man. Like we was hooping during the summer. We was practicing. Oh yeah, no, for sure. There's a lot more basketball this season. So if you enjoyed basketball in the first season, you guys are gonna be super excited for this season.
And what sort of music will he be listening to now that he's more stuck in LA now?
Man, there's a lot of Nipsey. There's a lot of Nipsey going on, a lot of Nipsey Hustle in the first episode. And Kendrick Lamar, so and I Will definitely appreciates that music. He's a music lover, so he's not like, oh, I don't only listen to Philly music. No, like that's not Will.
So, obviously, when you do a season 2, and for you as an actor, a lot of us didn't know who you were prior to the show. Now we know who you are. We're Googling your name. How have you grown as an actor, when you're coming on every day and you're on a page more so than the others, and you're working with different writers and directors?
Yeah. It's been fun. It's been fun, and it's been a pleasure, like just being able to play as an artist. You know what I mean? Like as an artist, I'm very fulfilled, and I think oftentimes like, I felt like, a year ago, I was always fighting against something. I was either fighting against time, money, resources, right? And as an artist, you're always like, oh, I wish I could do this. I got the time, I got the money, I just don't know where. Or I got the resources and I got the money, I don't have the time because I got to work, you know what I mean? And so like, at the end of the day, this is my work now, and I get to kind of let go of that, and I get to just like be. And so that's something that has changed. And it's really satisfying and gratifying for sure.
Now that we're at season 2, and we've got a lot of programs on TV, and for people who are now either just subscribing to Peacock because the first season, the Best Man Holiday, other programs, what do you say to new folks who are going to come now knowing that this show is lasting? Because with the first season, you don't know, but now we're in season 2, it's stable.
Yeah, I would say welcome. Buckle up.
So hey, you know what? We're looking forward to seeing what goes on every week, episode for episode. Congrats again. We'll talk down the road.
Thank you. See you soon.
Hey, Wilson.
Hey, Morgan, how's it going?
Good. Good morning, man. Good to see you.
Good. The first season took off like a skyrocket. Now you got to calm down because we want more seasons. So like, I just remember how they were naysayers prior to coming out, and then once they saw the product, they embraced it. Coming into season 2, obviously new showrunner, same writers. What's your plan as you try to map out a successful series?
Yeah, it's such a great question. What we talked about heading into season 2 and kind of the theme for us is just elevation in every way, raising the bar, raising the stakes with these character relationships and these character journeys. And, I'm proud to say that we've done just that. And, we're so excited for the fans to experience season 2. It is a roller coaster full of joy, love, fireworks. It's got all of it, man. And so we couldn't be more excited about season 2 and beyond. And the future of the show is very, very bright. So
How long did you know you were going to have a season 2 where you started mapping it out? Like, okay, let's see where it goes. Usually the first season of any show, we're always being introduced to the characters, trying to get the feel of it. And, these days, way things are with networks and television, nothing's guaranteed. You see shows being shot already, but then something happens and they don't get aired already, and so nothing's ever guaranteed. But hopefully the show is. How long ago did you know? Because you had to start mapping out when you have a series, the assumption is we're going to keep going.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. So we were fortunate, whenever we made our deal with Peacock, that we got a 2-season order, which is very rare in this business. And what that allowed us to do, knowing that we had 2 seasons guaranteed, was to arc out, these character journeys over the course of 2 seasons and beyond. It demonstrated Peacock's commitment to this show and to this vision. And, that made the job a lot easier, so to speak. Because to your point, if you only have 1 season you're writing to, it's one on one hand greener pastures, but at the same time, it's like you can burn through a lot of story by just trying to put it all into 1 season. And so we've had the opportunity to step out these journeys in a way that we're really, really happy with, and it's a blessing. So,
we don't have all day to talk, but how long ago did you know you were going to bring back Tatiana Ali?
Yeah, it's something that we've been talking about, since day one. I remember being down in Miami with Will when we were developing the show, and we talked about the idea of, how can we find a way to bring, some of the OG sitcom actors, into Bel Air, into the Bel Air universe in a way that's organic, in a way that doesn't feel forced, but truly authentic. And we found a way to do that. And big shout out to Tatiana Ali. She came in and really did her thing, and I can't wait for people to see her performance this season.
Besides exploring the background of some of these characters, you're also bringing in topics that people should talk about. Like obviously studying, books and of certain people in school. And protests on, a lot of different areas that people can relate to now. How much of a challenge is when you're working with the writers is, okay, we've got 7 characters. How do we flesh it all out?
Absolutely. Well, it's important for us to reflect the time as artists, right? And we want to do it in a way that is respectful, in a way that's nuanced and through the prism of character. And so there's a story that we explore through a young Ashley Banks' journey. That's centered around books, particularly books about Black history and Black life, right? And we live in a country where there are people who feel the need to try to suppress our history and suppress our voices as Black people. And we see through our show this young ensemble step up and say, no more. We don't stand for this. And I think that's really important to do so and use our platform as creatives to tell those stories. And again, in a way that's nuanced and doesn't feel like, we don't want to stand up on a soapbox, as we tell these stories and attack these types of subjects. We want to do them always through the prism of character, through a lens of respect and nuance. And I feel like we've done that in season 2.
For a new audience that just got Peacock, whether they got LA, because there's always a lot of different programs on Peacock, and obviously The Best Man, final chapters brought in a whole new audience. For those who are now catching up to Bel Air or are going to hear about Bel Air because it has a season 2 and they now know it's sticking around, what's a good reason to start watching it?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's so many reasons to watch Bel Air, but I think the biggest thing I would say is just the passion that people feel on screen. When people watch Bel Air, my hope and the takeaway is that they're watching something, the vision wasn't constructed in some boardroom. This came from a really pure, authentic place of just loving, these types of stories that we're telling and wanting to tell the story of a Black family in modern day America. We need these types of stories. It's important to support these types of stories. So if anybody's on the fence about watching Bel Air, give it a shot, watch a few episodes. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised if maybe you're a little concerned. If you're an OG sitcom fan and hold on, you know, that was its own thing. You can never do what Fresh Prince did. You know what I mean? That was lightning in a bottle that happened 30 years ago and is forever, you know, immortalized, so to speak. And so the goal with Bel Air has always been to honor the spirit of what was done while creating a show that truly stands on its own. And I think when people watch that, they'll feel that.
Morgan, congrats again. Keep it going. We're always here to support. Keep doing your thing.
Appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Peace, bro.
Wilson Morales from Black Women TV. Hello, Carla. How's it going?
Hello. Hi. I'm good. How are you?
Good. You know, as the saying goes, next man up. Here is next woman up. You know, you've got a new title, new responsibilities. So what changes are we going to get this year?
For season 2, I would say we can expect, you know, more of the same wild ride and twists and turns and enjoyment that we had in season 1, but just in a deeper way in season 2. You know, really being able to spread the wealth of the story in this ensemble cast. It's such a great cast. To have a little bit of all their stories told a little more fully in season 2. Everybody being there to obviously surround Will and make sure that he's going to be okay on his journey in this new world, but also being able to stop down and look at their stories and see what's going on in their worlds a little more in season 2.
You know, the first season took off like a skyrocket. You know, no one knew what to expect. Then it turned out really, really well. Do you look back to see what was some of the points that sold and not sold as far as structuring season 2? Was it be characters or storylines?
Yeah, it's interesting to see what people responded to in season 1. And I think one of the big things was the Carlton character and the Carlton-Will relationship in season 1. And people had a lot of feelings about Carlton in season 1 and who he was as this new character. But ultimately, I think getting on board with that journey and where he ended in season 1 and he and Will's relationship and really wanting to see those two together being on the same page more in season 2, because so many people responded to that bromance from the original series with Will and Carlton. So definitely in season 2 wanting to look at that relationship and see how they can coexist in this Bel Air world and try to be friends that might feel like a few steps forward but then a lot of steps back still because they are so different. But I think that's an important story that people want to know more about.
Is it challenging for the writers to put something together that not only defines the characters, each one of them, but also putting in something that today's audiences can relate to?
Yes, definitely. And it's so important because of who this family is, that the conversations that they would be having in their home, the things that are important to them, should resonate with a lot of people. And I think our 3rd episode, which is the protest episode, having already shot that and then having in the news come out this story about the AP curriculum for African American Studies and the stories and the history, the African American history that people are a little nervous about telling and the things that they want to remove from the curriculum. So it definitely felt like that story, that conversation for the Banks family, just felt validating to all the things that we have been talking about in the writer's room.
For you, you know, having gone from co-EP to now EP and showrunner, how much have you grown skill set wise, you know, handling these type of positions?
Yeah, it feels seamless in many ways because I've been doing this now for like 20 years. So it does feel, but being thrown into it, it's like it's a lot of hats to wear. It's being a lot of different places at once, and just trying to figure out what is the priority for the day. But for me, the heartbeat of the show is still the writer's room. It's always going to be the writer's room. That's where it starts and ends. And so just keeping that engine going and feeling that strong creatively in the writer's room, that we're having those right conversations, still feels the right place for me to be spending most of my time.
Before I'll make this my last question, we've got Tatiana Ali obviously returning. Can we expect more guest appearances from different type of celebrities that we are familiar with, or you know, are we going to be surprised?
Yeah, we're going to bring back the character of Janice from last season, who was played by Daphne Maxwell Reid. She will definitely be important to Aunt Viv's story this season. They have a lovely arc together that I think will feel very satisfying to the audience. So I'm looking forward to people experiencing that with Viv's story and her art world.
Oh, you're very quiet and not mentioning anybody else, but I'll leave the
Yeah, you have to experience it. And there's going to be a lot of people this season that I can't talk about right now, but it's going to be so exciting. And I just can't wait for people to start tweeting about it.
Yes, congrats on the first season. Congrats on this season. Let's make it so. Wherever you're at, take care, stay safe.
Thank you. So nice meeting you.